What's going on? How you guys doing? Dogg, Anti-Imperial the Chill here. That's my artist name. I'm a recording artist. One name, three personalities. Dogg, Anti-Imperial the Chill. Dogg is kind of like a thug. He's a little bit gangster. He's a nerd. He's a dork. Kind of sexually explicit, but he's a clown. Likes to have fun. Don't take Dogg seriously. He doesn't take himself seriously, and that's how that goes. The second term is Anti-Imperial. Anti-Imperial is in the center because Anti-Imperial is more of who I truly am. Dogg, Anti-Imperial the Chill. Anti-Imperial is all about upliftment, education, international political science, micro and macroeconomics, world history, geographical studies, philosophy, psychology, physiology, sociology, and things like that. That is Anti-Imperial. And the last term is the Chill, and the Chill is a hopeless romantic, all about falling in love, raising a family, and things like that. This is Diversity Outspoken. We do this every Wednesday and every Sunday, 9 o'clock p.m. United States Eastern Time Zone. So every Wednesday, 9 o'clock p.m. United States Eastern Time Zone, and every Sunday, 9 o'clock p.m. United States Eastern Time Zone. We call this Diversity Outspoken because we speak about a diverse range of topics, meaning that we speak about anything and everything, and we are outspoken or straight to the point about those topics. Here on Diversity Outspoken, we have one rule and one rule only, and that is that you guys remain respectful of the environment of Diversity Outspoken as a whole, and remain respectful of one another. We can agree, we can disagree, just remain respectful of the environment of Diversity Outspoken as a whole, and remain respectful of one another. I wouldn't want to block anybody here, but I will if I have to. But I never have to do that with you guys because we're all a big happy family, and everybody's always respectful of each other. Every day I do a daily historical post, you guys, so if you guys ever get bored or just want to see what happened on that particular day, going back decades, going back centuries, or going back thousands of years, you guys can check out my daily historical posts. I post those on Instagram and TikTok every single day. It's better on Instagram only because Instagram gives me the space to be as detailed as possible with those daily historical facts, but I do post that on TikTok nevertheless. In order to follow me on Instagram or TikTok, you guys can reach out to me on Instagram and TikTok at anti_imperial. It's kind of like what you see on the shirt right here. This is a YouTube shirt. The only difference between YouTube and Instagram and TikTok is an underscore. You guys know an underscore, that little line that goes down here at the bottom called an underscore. On Instagram and TikTok, it's at anti_imperial. On Instagram and TikTok, there'll be that underscore here. Instagram and TikTok at anti_imperial. On Instagram and TikTok. Who is that? Backwood_Bobby_9713. I see you. It's all good. So on Instagram and TikTok, it's at anti_imperial, you guys. On YouTube, you see right here, it's just anti-imperial with a space in between. On Instagram and TikTok, it's at anti_imperial. On YouTube, it's Anti-Imperial with a space in between. If you have me on Instagram, the easiest way to subscribe to my YouTube is to go to my Instagram or IG bio page. You guys can check out my Instagram or IG bio page, you guys. And you guys know, for all of us who have the Instagram or IG bio page, who is that baby, BABIE.T-music. Baby T Music, BABIE.T-music. I see you. You guys who have me on Instagram, you guys, if you go to my Instagram bio page, ShadeeeSlim, the one and only ShadeeeSlim, Furniture Woodbury, Furniture WOOD Berry. I see you. It's all good. Good to see y'all. Good to see y'all for sure, for sure, for sure. ShadeeeSlim, you can go ahead and come in whenever you want to. I'm just going to continue finish off these introduction, and then it's all you, sister. It'll be me and you. But just go ahead and request, and I'll bring you on in, ShadeeeSlim, whenever you want to. But you guys who have me on Instagram, you guys know we all get an Instagram or IG bio page, and on that bio page you get that one line for a link. So if you have me on Instagram, you guys can go to my Instagram or IG bio page. You guys can click that link. It will always be my latest video. It will always be a YouTube video. And once that YouTube video comes up, you guys can go ahead and hit the subscribe button right there, and you'll be subscribed to my YouTube channel, and I'd appreciate that, you guys. Also, this will be uploaded onto YouTube, so if you are watching this on YouTube, you guys can get in touch with me on Instagram or TikTok, because my Instagram and TikTok links are in the description below. So if you are watching this on YouTube, in the description below are my Instagram and my TikTok links, and you guys can get in touch with me that way, you guys. That being said, let's get ready to go ahead and get started, you guys. So, man, you know what? Instagram, like about a month ago, kind of changed this live setup. And it kind of it's been driving me a little crazy. So before about a month ago, this is the way it used to work, right? Official Roots Man Project, I see you. Official Roots Man Project, I see you. It's all good. So before, about a month ago, it's like you would do the Instagram live, and when it would end, it would take you to the screen where it was like you could save the video to your phone, save the Instagram live to your phone once you're done. You can then also upload it and save it for 24 hours. Remember how it used to be, you know, on the top where you have your stories and it has all the little circles and stuff like that? Who is this ShadeeeSlim? And so, let's see if we can get ShadeeeSlim in here. The one and only ShadeeeSlim. How you doing, sister?
Hello.
What's going on? Good to see you. Good to see you. It's all good. So before we get started, so anyway, so ShadeeeSlim, I was doing my rant about Instagram Lives. So can I finish my rant real quick?
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Finish my rant. Miami Bay, I see you. Finish my rant real quick. So about up until like a month ago, you guys, you would do the Instagram Live, you would finish the Instagram Live, and it would take you to the screen. And you go to the screen, and when you get to the screen, you could like save the video, save the Instagram Live you just did. You could save the Instagram Live. And then you could like put it in a little story. You guys remember when we used to put the Instagram Lives like in the little circles at the top where they have your stories? You could save the Instagram Live for 24 hours. So it used to be like that. Now, when you finish Instagram Live, it takes you to a screen. Oh, and what it used to do, it used to also give you the whole list of everybody who was on your Instagram Live. Right. And therefore, I was able to go afterwards to the list and just write down everybody's name. And then I go thank everybody for being there because I appreciate it when you guys take time out to be a part of the Instagram Live. I appreciate it. As of like a month ago, Instagram changed everything around. Now, when you're finished with the Instagram Live, they don't give you the option to save it to your phone no more. You can't do that. You can only put it in IGTV. So now I have to do this. So I have to put it in IGTV. Then I have to go to IGTV. I had to find an app that will pull it off of IGTV because I want to put it on YouTube. You know what I'm saying? So I have to find an app to pull it off of IGTV. Then I have to go into YouTube and get the app to send it to YouTube, and that's how I have to do it. Also, Instagram Live no longer records the names of everybody who was on your live. So I have to now go back and watch the whole Instagram Live over, try to write the names down of everybody who was there, and then go back and thank those people later. Also, since people have different spellings, because you know what I'm saying, like for example, ShadeeeSlim is 3 E's, right? So, so since ShadeeeSlim is 3 E's, so when I used to go back and just listen, right, to the Instagram Lives and write down all the names, try to go back and thank everybody, I couldn't find so many names because people spell their names differently. They have cool spellings and things like that. So now that's why if you guys hear me now, like, and look at Baby T Music's like, wow. Now if you guys hear me now, like when I said what's up to Baby T Music, I spelled it out. I was like BABIE T Music. So now I can go back and when I watch it later, I can get the right spelling. So now I can go back and thank Baby T Music for being here later, for example. Man, Instagram driving me crazy, man. And then last time we had an Instagram Live, the last anniversary Outspoken, we had a great one. I did like a little sneak music preview. It was great vibes. It was good energy.
He never does that.
Right?
He never gives us a sneak preview of none of his music. So if you wasn't here, you missed it. If you was not on, you missed it. If you wasn't here.
It was the first time thing. But this time, Instagram, so we went to the end to where it was countdown to 0 seconds. Instagram didn't even allow me to save it. They deleted the whole thing. So I lost the whole Instagram Live with the preview of music, all the good vibes. Everybody was interactive and things like that. But we're going to get to this today. Anyway, so ShadeeeSlim, how you doing, sister?
I'm good.
It's all good. Official Rootsman Project. I see you, Official Rootsman Project. Yeah, Rootsman. Instagram be trying me, man. Instagram Live be trying me. But hopefully this time they'll save everything and everything will be good. And you guys know, if you don't know, by the way, we do this Diversity Outspoken every Wednesday and then Sunday night, 9 o'clock p.m. United States Eastern Time Zone. ShadeeeSlim, looking good. How you doing, sister?
I'm good, man. I'm hot.
You hot? Why you so high?
Yeah, but I did a little community service today. So, you know, I was out in the sun, you know, getting that vitamin D, but, you know,
what were you doing? What type of community service were you doing?
Well, you know, we're passing out food at this church for people that, I guess, suffering during this pandemic with not being able to work and stuff.
Okay.
So I was there with one of my friends, and she just called me up, and she's like, "You want to go?" I was like, "Yeah." I feel like giving a little bit, you know, back.
Give it back to the community. Yeah. It's all good. So let's get to the beginning. We're gonna go over. I do definitely want to talk about your foundation in church and things like that. So this is ShadeeeSlim. So you were born in Miami, Florida, correct?
No.
Were you born in Alabama?
Yeah, I was born in Selma, Alabama. We moved here when I was like 2. We moved to Miami when I was like 2, and then I've been here ever since I was 2. So raised here, but born in Alabama.
And Selma, Alabama is such a historical place when it comes to like civil rights.
Yes, that my family is really proud. My mom and dad, they always talk about how they marched with Dr. Martin Luther King, so they always bring that up. And, you know, that's just kind of our roots, and they keep us grounded to be like, okay, you remember where you came from? And, you know, going back every summer when we were younger to, you know, my grandfather, he had a lot of children. He had like 22 kids, so a lot of us that were grandparents. Yeah, you know, in the country, they ain't have that now. So
you got to, you know, the most of the time. I always say that. I always say, when people look at and say, why do certain type of people or whatever have a lot of children? I always say, look, if you ever notice, a lot of times it's like either a financial thing or where you are located, a location thing, because if you don't have other things to entertain you, I always say, the best feeling, cheapest entertainment is sex. If you want to find something that feels good, if you want to find something that feels good, but doesn't
cost no money, it didn't cost no money, but you know,
it will cost money later. But in the immediate, the best feeling that doesn't cost
no money.
So there you go. So
don't be out here.
People that can't afford to like go on like expensive family trips across the nation, go to Disney World and spend like $600 per ticket and stuff like that, Universal Studios. If you can't afford to do that, when summertime comes, a lot of people just end up having sex. So that's why you see a lot of people, especially you guys in the like underprivileged, like in underprivileged social economic levels and things like that, quote unquote, like the poorer communities or things like that, and people that live out in rural areas, they usually have a lot of kids. Official Roots Man is like, that's right, I feel you, Official Roots Man. They have a lot of kids, you guys. It's because a lot of it has to do with economics. And so if you can't afford to take your family on summer vacations, if you can't afford to, like, you know, go and travel the country or things like that, or go on like family vacations and things like that, then a lot of times what starts to happen is usually, and this is another reason why you see a lot of like younger people start to have kids in many of these communities also, because the parents have to work through the summer. The kids are home all summer schools. I mean, like the school is out, the school year's over. So these kids, you know what I'm saying? Like the parents couldn't take off from work and go on a family trip, a summer trip or anything like that. So the parents are at work, the kids are at home bored. The hell else you going to do? And that's how it usually works, you guys. But definitely with the amount of kids. So your grandfather had, what you said, 22?
Yeah, it was 22 aunts and uncles. So every summer, once we get out of school here, my parents, we stayed here 1 week after school, and we came back a week before school. So our parents just had a nice summer vacation, and we were there.
Yeah.
And, you know,
that's what's
we
up.
Came here. So, yeah, we've been here.
Matias Campos, 1796. Just want to shout out you real quick. It's all good. But no, that's good that your parents really like took you guys back there and kept you guys grounded and let you guys really know your roots, because, you know, Selma being such a historical place when it comes to the civil rights movement and human rights overall, you said something very interesting, which was your parents. You know, they told you about how they like used to march in the civil rights marches with Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and things like that. That's really interesting because that can kind of show people, because when people watch, you know, when people watch movies or documentaries and things like that, and you see the black and white.
Yeah.
You see the documentaries in black and white. You see Martin Luther King Jr. in black and white and things like that. It makes people feel like it was like eons ago.
Yeah, a long time ago.
It wasn't that long ago. If you just noticed, just like what she said, and and you guys know my mom's Native American, but my dad's black, and my dad's family also interacted and marched with Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. also. So you have two individuals right here to where we are one person removed from people marching with Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. So when people say, "Oh, racism was a long time ago," it's like, but our parents walked with Dr. Martin. I mean, I remember when I was young, before my dad left, I remember when he was telling me how like he was. I remember this conversation distinctively. He was like, "Yeah, we used to do the sit-ins, and the racists, the Klan members and the white racists to come up and have like their sons." As they were doing the sit-ins, have their sons, they would come up with their sons and be like, their little sons, like 8, 9, 10 years old, and they'd be like, pee on them. And their sons would take out their penis and pee right on my dad, right on them as they were doing the sit-ins. And they would have to be nonviolent to sit there and things like that. And so things like that.
My mom's experience, she was young. She was about maybe 10, 12 years old. But she had older siblings, and they were during the time of desegregation, and they had to go to the schools. They had to ride the buses. So it was either the bus driver didn't pick you up, so you'll be standing out there at the bus stop, and if you were black, it would just keep going because they just didn't want to take the black kids to school. So they had a hard time getting to school. They had a hard time when they got in school because they just was not wanted. And eventually, when the parents just started fighting, like my kids deserve to go to school, the bus drivers just had to stop because my granddad would be at the bus stop. He's like, "No, you're gonna take all night, school age, children to school, and it'll be fights on the bus because they didn't want to give up the seat." So if the bus is full, they were like getting called names. The bus driver would slam on brakes while they were, walking up the aisle to make them fall. So it was just a lot of, hard times. But one thing I do appreciate about them is that they didn't teach that to us. They were like, you're a good person, you be better than them. So I appreciate that. So because all of what they went through, they didn't pass it on to, me. So.
And that's very important. That's very important, man. And shout out to say what's up. We're saying what's up to my _favorite Kobe Bryant. It's all good. We see you. But that's also a very good point. And ShadeeeSlim, you're so smart and intelligent. I love having you here. But that's also a very good point. Beautiful, by the way. But that's also a very good point because for African Americans, for black people to go through all the racism and stuff that they've gone through and they've been through, you still have it to where, for the most part, black people are still nice, docile individuals. You know what I mean? Like, no matter how much racism and stuff, like white people, when it came to, like, for example, now in like things like hip hop, which is like hip hop is the biggest music genre in the world, you have, white hip hop artists and black artists accept them like nothing.
No
they
problem.
Say, "Oh, you know what? You used to beat up my mom's people, and F you, you can't be a hip hop artist. We locking out all white people out of hip hop." We never do that. We've never done that. So we're still accepting, no matter what happens to us, we're still accepting of other races, even the race that put us down. We still accept them, and we still don't hold grudges against people. And it just shows you like the love that black people have just for other individuals, no matter what happens.
You and I recently talked about that, how we were saying even mixed kids, like they're more accepted into our community than white community. They're like rejected, but the black community always, embrace them and allow them to find their place within our community. So it's I guess it's just in us, you know? And our parents just taught us not to be like that. And we can be bigger and we can be better. And sometimes other races don't even like that. They're like, why aren't they fighting back? Or why aren't they? It's like, you know.
Exactly, and you're absolutely right. And if anybody wondering what we're talking about, for example, when you have mixed kids and they're mixed with black, it's like they find happiness and acceptance in the black community. Where they're talking about Drake, who's mixed, Barack Obama, who's mixed, Mariah Carey, who's mixed, Halle Berry, who's mixed. I mean, you have so many different people who are mixed, but yet they find a home in the black community, because if you look at black people, our complexions range from light to dark, so we accept everybody.
Yeah, we do. We
definitely accept everybody. So, so you born in Alabama, you go to Miami, and when we came on, you were talking about, you know, how you were doing community service, which we all appreciate your community service today, you know. But so you're ingrained in the church. Where does that come from? What family members does that come from? Your grandparents, your mother, your anything as a whole, or just the family as a whole? How did that kind of like start to come to be in your household?
Well, actually, it came from my mom. How it started is that I have an older brother, and he was born with sickle cell. So she, like, me and my brother are 7 years apart. So she's like, well, I'm going to do something different. When she was pregnant with me, she's like, I'm going to pray. Because they didn't go to church or anything. And I didn't really start going to church until I was like 14, 15 years old, because my mom just decided that she was going to go to church. You know, when you live with your parents,
you do what they want.
Yeah. So if you want to go hang out later on, you better be in church.
You still gotta wake up. You still gotta wake up for church in the morning, no matter how late you hung out.
Don't matter. So then that's how I got it. So you know, I never resisted it, because it was just something new. So we were just open to it, and it wasn't like it was just forced upon us. And it was like, oh, you got to be Holy Ghost filled. You can only wear skirts, and you like all these rules that a lot of religions, you know, a lot of religions have. She was just like, you believe in Jesus Christ, and He died and saved your soul. And I was like, yeah. She's like, well, that's all you have to do to be saved, and then you try to live right. So we started going to church to learn, you know, because she didn't grow up in church. Her parents didn't make her go to church. So if I'm 14, my mom was about 40. And she decided to try God. I guess that's what we can say. And it's just been there ever since. So, you know, that's how it started. So it's just kind of her just having a hard life growing up younger, and then the first marriage was, you know, wasn't good, and then being a single mother for so many years, she was like, the only other thing that I can do that could probably get me out of this situation is God. And once she tried it, and she had faith, and she never looked back. So she just guides me and pray for me, and I'm trying to do the same with my family. I just tell her, don't always ask God about what's going on with me. Just, you know, I don't need him.
It's all good, sister. Your heart's always in the right place. So that's all that matters.
Yeah. So that's how we got started with that. And I just, it's a battle sometimes, because when you really think about Christianity and where it came from, you're like, do I want to follow this, or do I want to do something, you know, be more spiritual and not as religious? So that's where I'm at right now, figuring out exactly. But Christian principles is, you know, pretty much where I come from because of my mom.
And I think that what's good about that, I've always said this, which is whatever religion that makes you be the best person you can possibly be in life, I believe that's the religion a person should be. So, for example, I always give the example of you know, Malcolm X was the best person he could be for who he was. If Malcolm X was a Christian or a Hindu or something else, he wouldn't have been the Malcolm X that we know, that fought for equality and things like that. So him being a Muslim, that was his perfect religion that made him the best person he could be. Martin Luther King Jr. was a Christian, and him being a Christian made him the best person he could be. And Gandhi was Hindu, and him being Hindu was the best person that he could be. And so whatever, as long as you're the type of person to where you treat people right, you don't disrespect individuals and things like that. Who is that? Sona Mainarong. SONAMAINARONG. What's going on? Good to see you. Good to see you. Good to see you. It's all good. But definitely, so whatever you have to do to make you become the best individual that you can possibly be, to be the nicest person in life, to treat people the fairest, to help people out the most, then that is the perfect religion for you. And so that's how I feel about organized religions. Your mother, speaking of religion, and I'll let you say what you're going to say in a second, but you can say that and then lead into this. Your mother also is really deep in Christianity and in a very high way, and you can talk about that. I want you to touch on that also right now, and also say what you were going to say.
Okay, I wanted to say I appreciate, because I think you said it on Diversity Outspoken many months ago, about how whatever your religion is, that makes you a good person, then that then do that. So the non-judgment, your point of view of not judging people because of their religion, you know, I appreciate it. So it'll make you feel like you have to be a certain way to be accepted. So I guess that's the diversity that I like, you know, when I was
the diversity aspect. Beautiful Jewel. What's going on, beautiful Jewel? It's all good. Good to see you, beautiful Jewel.
So, and my mom, yeah, she's a pastor. And
how long has she been a pastor?
Well, at our church, we just celebrated 17 years of her being like her own church, like standing like nobody else.
That's huge. Many people can't keep a business flowing for more than 1 or 2 years, and your mom's kept a church flowing, up and flowing. Like, and this is not like a virtual church. This is a church where she has an actual building and things like that. So you're talking about she had to learn business. She had to learn finances. Because when you have all that type of stuff, you have to really like learn like the ins and outs, all that type of stuff. Who is that? Louis Gerard. Who is that? LUIS GERARDO Gerardo Leon LEON actor. What's going on, Louis Gerardo Leon actor? Good to see you. Good to see you. But definitely, so your mom definitely had to learn all aspects of not just becoming a preacher, but business. She had to become a businesswoman also.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she had to learn all of that, but she kind of had the business experience because when she was a single mother, she had her own business. So she ran her own store. So that part was easy for her. The part that was the hardest, because according to Christianity, women cannot be pastors.
Wow.
So, yeah. So a lot of people will be like, well, how can your mom be a pastor? Because in the Bible, it's like men are in the pulpit. But then the Bible says your sons and your daughters will spread the word. So my mom was like, how can you tell me, if I'm a daughter of God, that I can't, you know, spread the word? Yeah. So then that's where we just get into really good conversations as to if you follow the Bible like word for word. Because if that was the case, that she
wouldn't be able to be a preacher.
Yeah. Right, because when you go to Alabama, like when she gets up to speak, they want her standing in the pulpit. And if they don't allow her to stand in the pulpit, she doesn't get up and speak because she's a pastor. So it's just a lot of fights and struggles that as women we still go through that other people just don't notice and see. So that was one of the biggest ones with Christianity, because they're like, women can't be pastors. And she was like, well, I am. And I'm going to tell the people, I'm going to spread the word. Yeah. And I'm not going to let my family die and go to hell and be heathens. because
so your mom, this is good. I mean, this is so good because I'm a feminist, so I'm a feminist through and through. But your mom's also such a trailblazer, and that's not even not to even discount like how you said as they were growing up, they marched in the civil rights era with Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and things like that. So she just continues to be a trailblazer in all aspects of life, and it's not like she just rests on her laurels. She kind of continues to just move forward and try to push that envelope forward and try to find that next step in order to achieve equality throughout in every aspect of life.
Yeah, and that's true because we were the first family that moved to Miami, and then she brought maybe about half of her brothers and sisters. They live with us, and then they branched out in Miami, and they're really successful here. They're all like business owners, or they're like supervisors on their jobs. So it's like she just took a step, like she just believed, and she was like, "It's a better life. I'm gonna try it." And it always worked out. So she was just like, and the same thing with the church. It's like, it's just things that I know God has done, for her that nobody else could do. Like nobody came and, paid, nobody came and helped us out. It was just prayer and faith, and things just turned around and things just got better. And, we hold on to that a lot.
So so you mentioned that the reason why your mom got into preaching and things like that, and even the way that you guys started to really embrace Christianity as a whole was because your brother being born with sickle cell and sickle cell anemia, correct?
Yes.
And sickle cell is for people that don't know, I'm going to have you explain what sickle cell really is right now. But sickle cell is something that really affects the African American community disproportionately, also over in the United States. But explain to us really quickly, kind of like what you know about sickle cell, and is it hereditary or is it something that he got? How does that work out?
Well, it's hereditary, and the way he got it is that my mom and my dad had the trait of sickle cell. So when you both have the trait, it's a high chance that your children will have the disease. But when they started having children, they didn't know anything about sickle cell. They grew up poor in Alabama, so you just didn't get the education. And they actually didn't even know when he was born that he had it. It's something that you're born with. You can't catch it from anybody. You're born with it. And he was about maybe 9 or 10 months. And they woke up and he had blisters like over his body. So they had to take him to the hospital. And the doctor was like, no, somebody poured boiling water on him. And they're like, no. But his fever was so high that he was like burning from the inside out. So then they had to run tests, and then that's when they found out. And we had to move here because sickle cell anemia, when you have it, cold weather brings on crisis. Now, crisis is pain that you just cannot control. No medicine, no morphine, no Percocet, nothing can control the pain because our blood cells are usually like a circle. But when you have sickle cell, they're elongated like an oval. So they don't flow through your joints in your elbows and your legs and your fingers. So they get stuck like all in one spot, and that area starts to swell. So your blood doesn't flow through your body like our regular blood flows because it can't. It's not like little circles throughout your body. And with that comes a lot of other,
health problems.
Yeah. So it just caused a lot of pain, especially in his joints. It was always a lot of swelling in his back and his elbows and his knees, places like that. And we had to move here because the weather in Alabama gets cold. In Miami, we don't really get a lot of, seasons. So here he had a better quality of life. So he was out of the hospital more here in Miami because the weather just up there just brought him in. And stress brings on what they call a sickle cell crisis. So a lot of physical activity, like he couldn't do PE. A lot of arguing and fighting around and get him like, emotionally upset. That would send him to a crisis. So it was just a lot of different factors. He just had a better quality of life here once we moved to Miami. And he just wasn't as sick. He wasn't going to the hospital as much. And she just had to. And we didn't know it. She didn't know anybody at all. Not one person here in Miami. She just had a job, and they said either Miami or Texas. And Texas gets cold as well in some parts. So Miami was the better choice. So he just ended up here.
Wow.
And like I said, she brought her sisters and their kids. And then when that sister got their own place, she had her brother come. And when that brother get his own place, we had another uncle come. Like, everybody just came and stayed with us until they were able to branch out.
Yeah.
And, move on their own.
Jesus Christ. I mean, yeah, sickle cell, and I want to get more into kind of like your brother's story in a second. I think we'll probably like end on that because you're so fascinating on different levels, but I want to save some for next time. Want to give a shout out to Robbie Joe 305. Robbie Joe 305, I saw you. Who else was in there? Payanez Mrs. I think Payanez Mrs. I saw Payanez Mrs. Also Flash New Owen. Flash New Owen. 2019. He says, hello, my brother and sister. What's going on, my brother? How you doing? How you doing? How you doing? Native love. Native love. It's all good. This is, for everybody who's on here who doesn't know who this is ShadeeeSlim, a.k.a. SupaStarr617. So when you guys usually see SupaStarr617, I know Beautiful Jewel came on and things like that, and she might not know who this is on here, but this is SupaStarr617. So this is the face to that name, aka sometimes she comes with a ShadeeeSlim, and she is right now, but she's also SupaStarr617. So next time you guys see SupaStarr617, this is who this is right here on here with us right now. So we appreciate everybody saying what's up. So your brother. And Beautiful Jewel says you're beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
And Beautiful Jewel, you know we love you, sister. And with everything you've been through, we, you know, you're continuously in our prayers. Definitely, Beautiful Jewel.
All the time.
All the time, for real. Okay, so with your brother, so your brother was born, you say when he was like 9, 10 months, they discovered he had sickle cell. The cold weather is bad for him. Cold weather is usually bad for a lot of individuals. That's why you see a lot of older people, and like that's why Florida is always known as a retirement state, right? Because a lot of older people who may suffer from illnesses and things like that, they move to warm weather because warm weather is always better for illnesses and things like that. And he grows up to live. We love you, Beautiful Jewel. He grows up to live. Marco Self Francis, we see you. So he grows up and lives a pretty normal life. And when he gets to around what age, it kind of starts to hit him really bad, and then it leads to what that takes place, which is really terrible in your life.
He lived he lived till he was 34. So that's been about I think 15 years now, or something like that. He would have been in July. He would be 50, and so around 28, that's when he started like having more health issues and a crisis and things like that. He just started getting weaker and weaker every time he came home from the hospital. He was just weaker. Not to the point where he was debilitated and he couldn't do anything for himself. And he was just walking slower and just moving slower than before. So I think he was maybe about 31 or 32. And he had a slight heart attack from the medicine, some medicine that they prescribed that was supposed to help him have less crisis and everything, but it actually gave him a heart attack. And then from that point on, every time he came home from the hospital, he was just weaker. He wasn't going in like every month or anything like that. He would go in maybe like once or twice a year. But when he would come home, he would be weaker. So that's just,
yeah.
One day he just, didn't make it back home. He went in and he was like, "I'm gonna call you when I get my room." And he
so that day his that day, his final day. Thank you, Robbie Joe. It's all good. That day, his final day, being here on this earth. So he's at home, or he's with you at your apartment. He's at your house, and he's feeling bad. So he goes to the hospital.
Yeah, he came home and he was like, "I'm not feeling good." So we took him to the ER, to the emergency room, and he was like, "When I get situated and I get my room, I will call you." And he just never called back.
And so when he never called back, when was it that, or who contacted you for you to go to the hospital?
Well, I kept calling because if that wasn't like him. He always called because I would take him clothes and food and snacks and things like that. So I was just calling. They were like, "Oh, he's in ICU." So they asked me, "Well, who are you?" And I'm like, "I'm his sister." So the nurse was like, "Well," she's like, "I'm not supposed to tell you this, but if you want to see your brother again, you need to come." So then the next day I took off work and I was like, "Okay, I'm going." I was just going to spend the whole day there, but overnight he passed away. So before I got a chance to get there to be, there, he had already passed away that night.
And I think that, and we're going to continue, and I think that the reason why I wanted to bring this up was because I think this is something that a lot of times people don't really hear about, because you have it so much where people might, they can tell the story. You might have an interview and stuff like that, especially like with rap artists and things like that. They'll tell a story about like when one of their homeboys got killed or something like that. But your brother didn't die from like violence, didn't die from being in the gang, didn't die from any beef or anything like that. And your brother died of natural causes. And usually when those type of things happen, a lot of times it's usually, people can usually sit there and talk about that, but it's usually for a grandparent or a parent who's usually up there in age. So it's really rare, or it doesn't happen a lot, to where somebody dies from natural causes, but they're still young. And that's why I wanted to kind of like bring this up, because this is not something that is the usual or is the normal, especially in the Black community. Usually in the Black community, when somebody dies from natural causes, they're either really old, or if somebody dies young, it's usually through violence. So this is a situation to where it doesn't happen too often, especially and particularly in the Black community, and that is why I did want to bring this up. So when you get to the hospital, walk me through that as good as you can, and we appreciate you. I know this is hard for you, saying this. Like I said, I think it is important, and I really love and appreciate you for doing this and having the the strength to do it. I know it's difficult, and I really appreciate it, because you know what, like for somebody to allow people to look, like for me to allow me to like look into your life, and for you to be open and honest about what you've been through, really shows strength in your part, mentally and emotionally. So, but if you can, so you get to the hospital, and so you're with your mother.
Yeah, my mom and my stepdad. And when we get off the elevator, well, the reason we went that night is because the hospital called and they said we need to come because my brother had cold blue. So they were trying to revive him. So they was like, "You guys need to come now." So when we get there and the elevator door opened, the doctor was there. As soon as the door opened, we knew, because she was like, "Oh, I'm so sorry." And when that happened, we just like, me and my mom just like broke down, like fell to our knees, and she's trying to pick me up because I'm like, just can't hold it together. And then they take us to a conference room so we're not like in the hall, like crying, because you know, it's a hospital, so a lot of people are there. And they take us to a conference room and they talk to us a little bit. And the doctor was like, well, we just couldn't revive him. They did CPR, but he cold blew twice. And the second time they couldn't revive him. So they asked if we want to see the body, and we're like, yeah, because we want to make sure that he's dead. Like, we're like, you know, still in disbelief, like, it's not happening, like, he's going to come back home. He always comes back home, what do you mean? And then we go in the back, in the ICU room, and yeah, he was dead, and we were shaking him, like, you know, wake up, like, just trying to tickle his feet to be like, see if he moved or something. And there was no life in him. So we couldn't leave right away because we were too upset. So we went to the back to the conference room until we were able to like calm down enough so that my stepdad can drive us back home. And that was the most quiet, the loudest silence I ever heard in my life. Like, you know how things are so quiet, but in your head is like, in my head, I'm like screaming to the top of my lungs, but I can't scream because I'm trying to be strong for my mom. And then she's trying to be strong for me because it was just my brother. I don't have any other siblings. So, you know, we're trying to hold each other up. And when we get home, you know, they pick me up. So I get back home and I can't sleep. It's like 3 in the morning. And I was like, I'm going to just call my mom and see. So I called her and she was like, I'm so glad you called me. I didn't know if you were sleeping. I didn't want to wake you up. And we just stayed on the phone till like 6 or 7 in the morning because nobody understands until you lose like somebody that's really close to you. And why it hurt me is, and I tell Anti this all the time. I'm like, my brother and I, we never had issues. We never had an argument. We never went a time in our life where we never spoke to each other or anything. We always were connected. So when you lose somebody and you feel like that's the only person other than your mom that you have, that's one of the hardest things that you have to deal with. And, you know, so it was just me and her. It was just times we would just sit on the phone and just cry. There'll be times I used to call Anti and be like, I can't hold it together. And he would just listen because, you know, what can you tell somebody? You can't say it's going to get better because, you know, it may not get better. So, you know, sometimes you just need to be that ear. But, yeah, that's how it was. And it's still, I'm better because I was able to tell you guys tonight. And normally I would be like in tears, crying, like I couldn't like tell it. So, and what makes it better for me is some of the things that Anti said as far as like, he didn't die because of violence. He didn't die because of drug addiction. He just died because of natural causes. And I think like maybe 2 weeks before he passed, I was able like to talk to him, just me and him, and tell him how much I appreciated him and how much I thanked him for being there for my family and my son and stuff, and like how much time he took out with us. And a lot of times we don't appreciate our families and tell them that. Sometimes we just take them for granted. So that gives me a lot of peace that I got the opportunity to tell him while he was living. Like, you know how they say, give the flowers while I'm living. Don't wait till I'm dead to give me flowers. Like you tell people while they're living how you feel about them. So that gives me a lot of peace knowing that I got an opportunity to tell him that. And, you know, he was alive and I told him he was well and he understood. And it wasn't me telling a dead body, you know, how I felt about him. I told him while he was alive. So that gives me a lot of comfort and peace. And Anti, I talk about him a lot. I share my stories with him a lot. And I just really appreciate him. He was a good guy. Like, really good guy. So, and I miss him.
Yeah.
I miss him like crazy. So.
Yeah. Well, you guys were like two peas in a pod, so you know how that goes. You guys are two peas in a pod.
Kind of, yeah.
He definitely was a great individual. I want to give a shout out real quick to Mar Bands, who was here while you were talking. Fatima 2008, Piawi was there, and I see right here, who is this? Venezolana _22 Veinte Dos Dios. It's all good. And Beautiful Jewel, we appreciate when you were speaking. Beautiful Jewel was saying, you know, that because we know Beautiful Jewel recently lost her grandmother and then her mother, back to back,
close.
Really close. So she's saying that she understands, and you know, what you and her really, you know, went through it and things like that. Only you two can understand. You know, I and people really
just
can't.
Just take your time, Beautiful Jewel. Take your time and grieve at your pace. Don't let nobody rush you and tell you how you should feel. Just take your time, and it gets better. You never get over it. For me, I never got over it, but I just learned how to deal with it and cope with it better. So just take your time, Beautiful Jewel, and you know, it'll get better. And and the one thing that Anti let me know is that I don't have to get over it. I don't have to, you know, get over the death of, you know, my brother. That I can, whenever I feel like crying, just cry about it, and you know, don't feel like you're bothering people if you talk about them all the time, because some people that really care about you, they want to hear the story. They want to hear from you. They want to be there for you. So I hope you have good people like that in your life that is allowing you to get through your pain without rushing you. And if they are rushing you, they're not the right people. So do it by yourself in the shower, you know. Just take your time to get over it. Well, not get over it, because you'll never get over it. But, you know, take your time and deal with it and cope with it.
Well, we appreciate you. As I said before, man, this is ShadeeeSlim, aka SupaStarr617. And we're going to have her. I mean, she's going to be a consistent guest as much as possible, according to her schedule, as much as she can. We'll have her on continuously as much as possible. So you guys will be seeing a lot of her. This is just the first part. This is the introduction to ShadeeeSlim, SupaStarr617. But it's all good. And Beautiful Jewel says, yes, you're right, hun. And Beautiful Jewel is an intelligent individual also. Hopefully we can get her on here one day. But ShadeeeSlim, SupaStarr617, a.k.a. She's such an intellectual individual, so intelligent. This is just, right now, today, we just hit the tip of the iceberg, because as time goes on, you will see her intelligence and just how deep that flows. I know how deep it is, and you guys will get a chance to experience her throughout time. And but what I do want to do is get ready to get off of here, because I don't want to get to this double zeros, because I want to try to keep this episode and save it. So I don't want to get down to the double zeros. So I'm so paranoid. We're going on Sasha Regina Smith, Sasha _Regina _Smith. Good to see you, sister. I'm so paranoid about how
you're paranoid, man.
That I'm not even going to do my closing. I don't even want to risk it. I don't even want to risk it.
I'll do it. I'll do it for you.
I'm Anti-Imperial to chill. My bad. You can touch me, Anti-Imperial. That's the closing right there. I'm done with the closing. But let me just say, in all seriousness, SupaStarr617, ShadeeeSlim, man, I appreciate you being here. I appreciate you being so open and so honest, and you're a beautiful individual inside and out. And you know, I love you to death, sister.
I know, you had me so open the first episode. Like, what?
Well, you know, I like you open, sister, so it is what it is. It's all good. I like to have you, you know, open and honest, and we appreciate it, man. And like I said, she's going to be coming back more and more often when her schedule permits. And Sasha, appreciate you, Sasha. Sasha, I love you, sister. Definitely miss you too. Beautiful Jewel said, she's like, LOL, Beautiful Jewel, you know we love you. I'm crazy, beautiful Jewel, and SupaStarr617, aka ShadeeeSlim. She's kind of crazy like me, and you guys will see that as time goes on. So, but thank you everybody for being here. ShadeeeSlim, SupaStarr617. Love you, sister. I appreciate it. You look beautiful, and I appreciate you being here. Appreciate you giving your time to us. Everybody who was here, we appreciate it. I'm not going to take a chance. It's going down to 00. Hopefully we can save this and keep it. I appreciate it, you guys. Old Dog, Anti-Imperial to chill. You guys take care. Have a great night or great day, depending on where you are in the world. Love you, beautiful Jewel. Love you guys. You guys take care, all right?
Bye, beautiful Jewel.
Take care.